What's up, family? Welcome back to another legendary top of the movie reaction video. Let's go.
NBA Hall of Famer James Worthy, who played against both Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, said, I'd much rather play against Michael Jordan than Larry Bird. Jordan made you look slow, but Bird made you look
Mm,
stupid.
the compare and that's a coincidence. Well, not really a coincidence because they're both legendary in their own unique way. But Larry Bird, he moves slow. He's not as fast, but he'll make you look stupid. But Jordan can move faster, but make you look slow. Ain't that something? That's crazy.
Look, I'm not here to convince you that Larry Bird is better than Michael Jordan. I'll just present to you the facts and
Okay.
let the NBA legends who actually played against both of them tell you what they think.
People always ask me who's the hardest player I've ever had to guard. And there was Michael Jordan, George Gervin, the late great Mike Mitchell. I mean, so many players. I always say Larry Bird. And I say this for the reason because when Michael passed the basketball, he kind of hung on his shorts and he sit off to the side. With Larry, when he passed the basketball, is when he became more dangerous. He
Mm.
was either setting a pick, coming off a pick.
Yeah, because it was constant moving. I felt like Michael Jordan game is more of a scorer dominated, and in NBA 2K the game, like the basketball game terms, it would be considered as a finisher, right? But I feel like Larry Bird was not one dimensional. Like he wasn't just a finisher. He was a great passer. He was a great. He set up his teammates for success. You know, good at passing the ball around. Popping up at the corner, popping up at the wing. You know what I'm saying? Dropping down, grabbing the board, coming. You know what I'm saying? So many things that go into it, many other factors that's more than just being one dimensional, but very, very, what can I say? Very multi-dimensional, I should say.
Catching the ball, passing the ball. So he was the one you always had to stay attentive to the
Mhm.
whole 24 seconds of that offensive play for the Celtics. And
Hmm.
you know what? Oh, he's going to get an offensive rebound. He was going to do something to help his team have the best chance of scoring at that point. So I always say as him, he didn't need the basketball to affect the game.
To the
Yeah,
untrained eye, Michael Jordan
there we go. Keyword. Larry Bird didn't need the basketball to affect the game. Michael Jordan did.
was light years better than Larry Bird simply because his scoring numbers were better. But in actuality, it was much closer than that because Bird affected the game in so many ways.
I saw Larry Bird one night in Phoenix. They were losing big time at the half, and they come out in the third quarter, and Larry did not take a shot, but
Mm.
dominated the game. He had 7 assists in the third quarter, and they came back and won the game. He could affect the game without taking a shot. Who else can you say that about to that degree? Nobody. Michael could never do that. Never. Michael had
Right.
to have the ball.
Here's a
Exactly.
1986 magazine on the NBA. And remember, this is a league with Michael Jordan, Magic 1986.
As nearly perfect as you can get. In a glorious seventh season, Larry Bird of the Boston Celtics is demonstrating that he may be the NBA's best player of all time by Jake McCollum. Sports Illustrated, the living legend, Boston's Larry Bird. March 3rd, 1986. Legendary, man.
Magazine on the NBA. And remember, this is a league with Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Charles Barkley, Isaiah Thomas, Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone, and Dr. J.
Mm.
And in a league with all of these all-time great players, everyone agreed that Larry Bird was the best because in 1984, 1985, and 1986, Larry Bird won MVP back to back
That's the crazy part is I wasn't even born until 1999. That's the crazy part.
to back. And in the 1986 playoffs, Larry Bird finally faced Michael Jordan head to head.
And
And
my
in
mother
game,
was just born, not to get off topic, my mother was just born in 1982. Yeah. So my man was And the game for man.
Playoffs, Larry Bird finally faced Michael Jordan head to head. And in game one, Michael dropped a spectacular 49 points. But Larry Bird had an all around game with 30 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds.
Be a digital detective.
Come on, man. Why you gonna mess up a legendary type of video right here, man?
3 steals to lead the Celtics to a victory. By game 2, MJ had a revelation.
And this is game 2 of the best-of-5 first-round action, and the Celtics will try to make it 2 in a row over the Bulls.
We really have to play a complete basketball game. I don't think one man can beat the Boston Celtics. I don't think one man can beat the Boston Celtics.
But he sure did try, because Jordan turned on God mode and broke the record for the most points ever scored in a playoff game.
Lead in the first.
Yeah, well, he saw that. Like I said, Michael Jordan is more ball dominated. If you gonna be lazy and you ain't gonna do right, I ain't gonna give you the ball. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make something out of it.
Half of the game against the Celtics Thursday. Jordan trying to fake Bird, can't do it. Hits the jumper, but Bird played pretty well defensively against Jordan.
I know we started Dennis Johnson out on him, and then we went with Danny Ainge, myself, then Bill Walton, and we was trying to run him to help all the time, but he had his outside shot going so well that he really didn't need to penetrate that much.
Jordan hits it, 56 for Jordan, and that ties the...
Why he made sure his outside shot was going so well, this is just my opinion. Because my man knew not to go down in that paint like that.
Chicago Bulls all-time leader. Jordan with 8 on the clock. Jordan ties the game.
Oh, boy.
63 points, and you're looking at an all-time record.
Oh, boy.
Michael Jordan.
But it was an incredible playoff performance. I've never seen it before, and I had never seen it after. That wasn't Michael Jordan out there. It was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
But Larry Bird left with the most important statistic of all, the W.
10 on the clock. Bird, pick and roll parry. Victory for the Boston Celtics to take a 2-0 lead over Chicago in their best-of-5.
The W.
Michael Jordan didn't beat Larry Bird. You showed Michael Jordan going between his legs one time in the highlights, against Larry Bird. And that was the game he got 63.
That's when he dropped 63 on Bird. Yes.
But if memory serves me correct, they got
lost.
swept. No, not lost. They got swept. Okay?
That's true.
Even though he dropped 63, we stepped up.
The stats don't mean nothing, man. The W mean everything. You know what I'm saying? So, look, who don't want to be on the winning side? I mean, you could do all them numbers, but at the end of the day, as a team, it's a team sport. Come all together to get that W, right?
All in his ass, did we not? I rest my case.
Larry Bird went on to win his 3rd championship that year. And the following year, when Larry faced MJ in the playoffs, it happened again.
Side. Larry Bird against Banks, rubs him around a Perry screen, drives it down the lane, and lays it in with a right hand. Michael Jordan with 30 points in this game, so he was 30 or better in all 3 playoff games. Bird's got 31 in the game and 14 in the 4th quarter. Bullseye. Boston has kept it in good hands in the 4th
Look
quarter.
at my man neck. They basically clawed them. Look. So angry that they losing, they had to claw my man.
It's been Bird, and that's about it. Final score in Chicago Stadium. The Boston Celtics sweep the Bulls out 105-94. Too much Celtic talent, too much Celtic experience for a Bulls team lacking in both areas.
Yes, Larry Bird in back-to-back years swept Michael Jordan in the playoffs. So if Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, but Michael Jordan never beat Larry Bird, then what does that make Larry Bird? Now, to be fair, at that point, Michael Jordan didn't have his best.
That make Larry Bird the legend of all time then, right?
best teammate ever, Scottie Pippen, yet. When Scottie Pippen arrived, the battles were closer and more intense. And later in the video, I'll let you see exactly what happened when Larry Bird faced a prime Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Because Larry Bird did something so miraculously impressive, no other man in the history of basketball can say they've done. But after Bird swept Jordan back-to-back years in the playoffs, that very next year in 1988, Michael Jordan had statistically the best season ever, where he won the scoring title at 35 points per game, the steals title, the MVP, the defensive player of the year, the All-Star game MVP, and the dunk contest. He faced Larry Bird 4 times that year, and this is how it went. Game 1.
Okay, game 1. Larry Bird had 44. He had 43.
Tough battle. Bird
Still
wins.
lost.
Game 2.
They both have 42. The Bulls won.
Has a historic 50-point game to win by 10.
Sorry, family. I'm looking at the minutes. Okay. So game 1, Larry Bird had 38. Michael Jordan had 42.
Bird wins. Game 2.
Okay. MJ had 50. Larry Bird had 19.
Has a historic 50-point game to win by 10. Game 3. Larry's revenge. After that previous loss, I'm sure Larry Bird had that rematch circled on his calendar because he ended up with...
Larry Bird had 33. Michael Jordan had 26. Okay, Michael Jordan must have wind down a little bit or wore himself down a little bit from the past 2 games.
33, 8, and 7. And
look at the record, though. 46 to 20, 37 to 28. Bulls got a bad record.
Blew MJ out by 30 points. Game 4. MJ had an impressive performance with 30.
Okay, Larry Bird had 44. Michael Jordan had 39. Celtics won.
39 points and 8 assists. But Larry Legend had 44 points and 10 rebounds. But most importantly,
they both always had 1 block.
Win versus Michael Jordan in his statistically best season ever. And though Michael Jordan didn't face Bird again that year in the playoffs, Jordan did face Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons. And I'll let Isaiah Thomas tell you exactly how he recalls that year and the rest of the 80s.
So Michael Jordan in the 80s, the best year that he had was he was the MVP of the league and the defensive player of the year. I believe that was in 88.
Yes.
We beat them 4-1. I'm gonna say that again. 4-1. They won 1
May
game.
I respond?
Stephen A. And he never beat Larry Bird. He never beat Magic and Kareem. He never won. And all I'm saying is in the 80s, what I remember in the 80s, it was Philadelphia with Dr. J, Magic, Kareem, Bird, Michael Jordan. He was a non-factor.
He got the statistics awards, but when it came to playing with the other legends, you gonna get 1-0 games won.
A non-factor. Is this your GOAT? But after Isaiah Thomas swept MJ, he did go on to beat Larry Bird in 6 games. And many people touted the Detroit defense for holding Larry Bird to under 20 points per game. But what many don't include in that story is that Larry Bird was noticeably injured with painful bone spurs in both feet. So only because of injuries, for the first time in 5 seasons, Larry Bird would not make the NBA Finals. Starting the
bone spurs, and my man still being legendary.
Following year, Larry Bird had season-ending surgery on both feet after playing only 6 games. But sadly, it only got worse because that following off...
Do my man even know what pain is? Because my man was still playing with the surgery 6 games after that, and he been playing before the surgery. Like, sheesh.
Season, Larry Bird broke his back
Dang.
and was never the same.
If you're working on your
Dang, so that mean all them scratches and them clawing on him when he's scoring and going to the basket and playing dirty, especially the Detroit Pistons, didn't mean nothing compared to the pain he was going through.
Again. But even as Larry Bird's entire body betrayed him, for some reason, he always played well against Michael Jordan. Almost like he had a personal vendetta against Jordan. And I think I know why.
I don't think it was a personal vendetta. I think it was just someone was able to bring excitement to the game besides Larry Bird, who then could push Larry Bird to stay on his P's and Q's and push him to be even greater and challenge him. I don't feel like Larry Bird had much of a challenge until these new guys try to come up and feel like they wanted to make a name for themselves and be a legend and be legendary. But the legendary person had been legend in the game before they came, had to show them how legendary players move.
When Michael Jordan was in college, he actually played an exhibition game against Larry Bird. Jordan and a bunch of college players, while preparing for the 1984 Olympics, faced Larry Bird and a bunch of NBA stars. The goal was to toughen the college kids up before they headed to the Olympics. So during pregame warm-ups, when Jordan chased the loose ball to the other end of the court, Larry Bird picked the ball up. But instead of handing it to Jordan, Bird kicked the ball over Jordan's head to the opposite end.
Larry Bird picked it up instead of handing the ball over to Jordan. Bird snared and kicked it back over Jordan's head. My world and welcome to it. Bird was showing me it was all business now. I was beneath him, says Jordan. I didn't forget.
The court. And I guess you could say Michael Jordan took that personally.
Now look at Mossy. Really? Oh, so that's how you're going to play it. You going to do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
Michael Jordan dominated that game. A young Michael Jordan actually carried a team full of college players past a prime Larry Bird and a bunch of NBA players. Michael Jordan won the battle, but Larry Bird won the war. I think Larry Bird took that loss personally.
Larry had a beard, man? I did not know that, man.
Because Jordan never really got the best of Larry Bird ever again. When Larry Bird finally returned to the court after missing basically an entire season with foot surgery and a back injury, he faced prime Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen in a regular season game.
Now I could see why this could be a personal vendetta for Larry Bird as well. I get what he mean. You know, the college game, you know, when it was the USA, it's the NBA All-Star, and then that's when, you know, Michael Jordan called himself going off because Larry Bird kicked the game and said, kicked the ball and said, welcome to my world. I could see. That could be possible.
The teams went back and forth.
Bagley against Paxson, 10 on the shot clock. Jordan on Bird. Quick feed into Jim Paxson for the layup. Larry Bird has KO the read. Jordan the steal. Scottie Pippen ahead to Jordan. Michael for the dunk. Bird against Pippen. Bird working on Pippen one-on-one. Hits the fadeaway.
And with 10 seconds to go, it was a tie game. The Celtics had the ball, and the Bulls put their two best defenders, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, both on Larry Bird because everyone knows who the ball is going to.
Of course.
And then this happened.
Let's see if they wind it all the way down. Inside
Bird
of 10
low,
seconds.
Bird low.
You can't double yet. Now you can quickly. Bird's jumper. Good. 3.6 seconds
There's
left.
2 players on him, bro, and still can't stop him with the fadeaway. Look.
Larry Bird gives the Boston Celtics a 2-point lead.
Everybody. A young buck.
In this building had to know it was going to. Michael came over to help out. Celtics lead with 3.6 seconds here, 102 to 100.
Great looking salty.
A game-winning shot while being double-teamed by both Michael Jordan.
And shout out to Larry Legend, man. And then look at this guy over here. Look at this guy walking.
0.6 seconds here, 102 to 100.
That's what we hear when we hear Michael Jordan. Crickets.
A game-winning shot while being double-teamed by both Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, two of the best defenders of all time. Somehow the word clutch doesn't even begin to describe the greatness of Larry Bird when the game was on the line. But maybe a quote from NBA Hall of Fame coach, executive, and former player Pat Riley can explain. In an interview, when comparing Larry Bird and Michael Jordan's clutchness, Pat Riley said this iconic quote, "If I had to choose a player to take a shot to save a game..."
Larry Bird. Bro, if you say Larry Bird, we're gonna do a round of applause all over again.
"I choose Michael Jordan."
What? Really, bro? Bro, you suck, bro. I'm sorry. That's just my bro.
"If I had to choose a player to take a shot to save my life, I'd take Larry Bird."
Okay, so if you had to choose a player, take a shot. Hold up. Let me go back to this.
Choose a player to take a shot to save a game.
To save a game. It's still Wayne Michael Jordan.
I choose Michael Jordan. "If I had to choose a player to take a shot to save my life..."
No, let's switch that up. Let's switch that up for Pat Riley. I think he was a little bit, sleepy still when he answered that question. When it came to a shot to save the game and his life, we're going to go with Larry Legend. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. That's it.
I'd take Larry Bird. As Larry Bird was on his last legs and Michael Jordan was starting his dynasty in 1991, Larry Bird mustered up enough strength to battle MJ again in one of the last great duels between the two.
Gamble came up with the steal.
Here's Bird. Yes. He was met on a switch by Jordan, and there 69, Chicago 67. Jordan eluding a triple team. Reggie Lewis. Larry Bird.
I'm on Larry Bird fighting. Got the board. Put it back up.
This battle between two all-time greats came down to the wire. In overtime, it was a tie game with 0.4 seconds on the clock. And
Look, this is how you know Larry Bird is an all-time, all-around player. Okay, this is how you know Jordan is a statistic person. He's a numbers person. More points. Okay, Larry Bird got 2 points less. Okay, we got 11 boards, bro. 11 boards.
The Chicago Bulls had the ball.
Pippen.
When it came to secondary playmaking opportunity, if another teammate shot and didn't make it, Larry Bird is gonna make sure he creates another opportunity. That's my point I'm making.
Throw in 0.4 of a second. And here it is, Jordan with the flame. Yes! But it's waved off. Will not count. Mike Mathis said no. Did not beat the clock.
Ooh, he almost had it. After Jordan's possible game winner was waved off, Larry Bird, on 4 straight possessions in double overtime, did this.
Jordan.
It's great to hear all these coaches talk about they're really concerned as Bird hits a little fadeaway. They're really concerned about the minutes building up. They want to be fresh going into the playoffs until the game.
Overtime number 2. Bird. Yes. Larry Bird hit.
Bro, you're not stopping that, bro. Like, what are you doing?
It out to go in the second overtime. Bird with the fake through the foul and hits.
Yeah, take them 3D glasses off, bro. You over here drawing fouls. You too busy jumping, trying to anticipate Larry Bird. You don't know what Larry Bird gonna do.
45 to go in the second overtime. Bird fires. Yes.
The crowd couldn't help but chant the name of the greatest player of all time.
Shook his head and said, "This guy's too much."
And the chant of D. Brown beat John Paxson off the pitch.
Good play, good play.
And the second overtime, and that will do it. The Boston Celtics in double overtime and defeated the Chicago Bulls 135 to 132 in
Like I said, man, Larry Bird always gonna show up and show out, man.
a wild one.
The Celtics held on to win that game, but that year, Michael Jordan won his first championship versus Magic Johnson in the finals, and his dynasty had officially begun.
Larry and I were talking, and Michael walks in, and he says, "There's a new sheriff in town." And we both hit each other like, well, he's not lying.
Larry Bird retired
At least
after
they know how to accept things for what they are. You know what I'm saying? Realistic legends.
that next season, but not before he took the court with Michael Jordan one last time. Except this time, it would be on the same team in what many would call the greatest team ever assembled, the 1992 Dream Team.
And rebounded by Jordan.
Perez may have realized that may be his best opportunity to get an open look in transition.
Magic with the pass that misfired. Jordan with the behind-the-back save. Here's Bird. Yes!
They just playing around. That's for fun, you know what I'm saying? But it's great to see it. It's great to see it.
And you just knew that Larry Bird was not going to miss that shot after the great save by Michael Jordan.
Larry, I hear that you're retiring. Thank goodness. I'm glad. I'm tired of seeing your face. For a lot of sad memories to me, but I enjoyed you tremendously. I wish you a lot of luck, and I think you had a very wonderful career, even though you probably ruined a lot of my successful games against the Boston Celtics. And I'll see you somewhere along the road, somewhere playing golf.
Even though he dropped 63, we stepped all in his ass, did we not? I rest my case.
The way to go out with the video, that was the video. I mean, he rests his case. You heard him, family. He rests his case. He rests his case. Well, that was the way to go out then. So family, all I gotta say is that was a legendary video.